Hello, friends. Hello, and welcome. Welcome to this little page a day challenge that I'm doing right now. I've started it so that I can actually finish a book. It's been a while since we finished a book, and for me, I do it a little differently. Like they're all like channeled in, so I just have to sit there and kind of let the information flow. But what I thought I'd do here on Instagram, I'll be posting these to Instagram and to my YouTube Storyteller channel. But for October, I've started a new book / card deck, so they go together. I'll be coming on here. My goal is to come on every day with a page a day, or for me, that's more like a chapter, but a page a day. Just to share with you the page and the card that goes with that. And in hopes it'll do a couple of things. Number one, inspire you maybe. I know many of you have a book that you want to write. So maybe inspire you to join along with me and write a page a day. Some of you may be interested in the whole channeled writing thing and how to do that. So I am going to encourage you. I'll maybe sharing some little tips and tricks that I do. To me, it comes pretty easily, but some tips and tricks for you if that's something you're interested in doing. We'll be sharing the chapter, the card, and just saying hi and seeing how you guys are doing. So doing this on a daily basis helps keep me accountable to write. Number one, I just saw 144 on the counter. So that's my Bringers to Light call to action. Keeps me accountable to keep going, because even if at least one person sees this and it helps you in some way, then I'm doing my job. Obviously, I would want more than one person, but you know what I mean. It keeps me accountable that it's not just me. That's just how it works best for me. Let's just put it that way. So the book for this month, and it sounds like it might be turning a little bit spooky. So this is part of the Bringers of the Light series. This is the Tessa Lock. So if you're not a follower of the whole Bringers of the Light thing, that's the big book series that I write, among others. But this one is about folks that do, light warrior work or light work or whatever in my towns of another realm up in the UK. Well, actually, they're not. I don't know. They're kind of up there somewhere in the UK. Sometimes they say they're in Ireland, and sometimes they say they're somewhere else. So, kind of up on the coast of Ireland is where they want to be. So, Rockaway Point and Tessa Lock. We have many in the book series. So, since this is the first of this series, I want to just share, a little bit of the background so you know where to look and what's going on here, in case you decide to join me for the challenge, or in case you're just following along to the end of this particular book series or this particular book writing. And please excuse the dog. I don't know, every little thing sets her off. So you see me on a daily basis, you could be seeing a whole lot of interesting things happening and hearing a whole lot of interesting things. All my ebooks can be read for free through my ebook publisher Smashwords, or through Apple Books, Google Books, and Barnes and Noble. All the ebooks are free to download as long as you have an EPUB reader or some sort of ebook reader. You can get all that juicy goodness. I've got many books. I have over 15 books published, nonfiction and fiction books. So the links to that, if you're on Instagram, are in my profile, and they're in the show notes if you're looking at this over on YouTube. So Hive Magic right now is the book. And dare I show you, let's just get started with the I don't know why it came to bees have been very important lately. The bee, like the bee animal, the letter B has been coming up a lot. And this book, I wanted to make, I know why, because I saw somebody who had a tarot deck about bees, like the Sacred Bee Tarot or something. And I was like, I kind of like that deck, but I kind of want my own deck, which is how it usually works for me. I'm kind of like, I see someone's deck and I'm like, oh, I could make that for myself. Not that particular one, but I could make something like that. And so I channeled in a deck called Hive Magic, and I started working on the deck, and I'm like, this is more than a deck. It also wants to be a book, like a storybook, of what's going on. We're going to work through this together, you guys. And the introduction of what the book was about came through in just a couple of sentences. Tara and Ben tend bees. Tara's a mystic and Ben's a healer. And the bees are always talking. Are you listening? So this also, I was also inspired by a book called The Shamanic Way of the Bee, which I thought was going to be something other than what it was. It was almost some sort of like an autobiographical like story of the author. And I was a little disappointed that it wasn't a little bit more about the actual shamanic way of working with bees. But I have also taken like a modern Melissa kind of bee tending course online too that was an inspiration. So let me just, without further ado, I will show you the card. This is the first card. So the way this is going to work is the card always relates to the chapter that's being read. There is a lot of outward stuff going on here that I'm hearing. I'm hearing like a lot of running up down the stairs, a lot of dog barking. The card always relates to the chapter that's being channeled in. And the interesting thing I find is, so I made these first few cards. I think I have 9 so far. I made them a while back, maybe 2 or 3, 4 weeks ago. And today I just took a look at the card. I'm like, what is the first card? And then I said, okay, I'm going to channel in or automatic writing, do the first chapter of the book. And let's just see, it's a game to me, like how they align with each other. So let me just show you, how's this going to work? So I guess I can show you the back of the deck. Okay, so this is going to be the back of the deck. And it's not a secret. I don't think I'm going to change that. And the first card is, since they're not cards yet, since they're still a work in progress, they're just on my tablet. I trust myself. I don't beat myself up for my past choices. So this is card number 1. I trust myself. I don't beat myself up for my past choices. So you can listen to this as just like you're listening to a story, or this is your card of the day. Or you can choose to like sit with it a little bit more and see what other messages might have for you. So I'm going to read you the chapter I wrote today. So remember, it's I trust myself. And then let's see how this chapter I channeled in today aligns with that card. So when I write these, just to give you a little tips and tricks, for me, I've been doing this a while, the channeling of the books, since like 2016 or so. So it just comes really easy to me, but I know not everybody's in that kind of a space, but I have to just kind of get quiet. And then I do call in my spirit guide team that helps me with my work, my creative work. So they're there to hold space for me. I create like a sacred space. So for me, I just say, I wrap myself in love, light, and light, love. However you create a sacred space. I get quiet. I get my hands on the keyboard, and I just say, and I also call in. So for example, in this case, I'm writing this book. I know that there's somebody named Tara, somebody named Ben, and there's bees. And I know the book is called Hive Magic. So I call in the spirit friends of this book to help channel the story to me. This is just how it works for me. And then I just listen and I just type what I hear. So, and I just saw 911, that's Archangel Michael's number to me. So that's like a life purpose / soul mission type of thing. So he's telling me like, yes, that's part of my soul, not necessarily my purpose, but that's one of my spiritual gifts. And it's just how it works for me. If you want to write a book, that may work for you. It may not. You may have some other way. But if you just want to follow this page a day thing with me, then you've already seen how I get started on writing and doing stuff. It just like comes, I don't know. But this case, the cards came first, and there was inspiration from some ideas, from some other things that I saw around me. So for example, somebody else's card deck, some of the past books and courses, in this case that I took about bees, and the fact that there's this bee, letter B, or the actual bee animal, bee spirit animal, around me quite a bit lately. And so I thought I would just pull all those together and see what would come up. So chapter 1 that channeled in is called Trust is Not Always Where You Are. So this is also like a little spiritual message that goes along with the cards. This has special meaning to you when you're listening to this or watching to it. So Ben was outdoors, his favorite space to be in, but right now he had a lot on his mind. The hives needed tending, and among the many other things he needed to do today, his mother had called him with some new emergency that needed tending to. Tessa, and these are also quite amusing, and I think for the month of October, this one's going to be a little bit spooky. So Tessa Locke is the sister city to Rockaway Point, my Bringers of the Light series. So Tessa Locke, homes for the slightly less agile, had been a place he hadn't wanted to place his mother, but he also knew she needed the extra care that he didn't have time to give her right now. The fairy nurses at this very special assisted living and hospice were taking great care of Edwina, but as is, with a loved one left in someone else's care, Ben worried a little too much. Now Edwina had called him late in the night with some take of a frightening figure outside her window. The homes were situated slightly out of the Tessa Locke town center and bordered the great pine woods on one end. Edwina, who as a little girl played in the woods with the elves, gnomes, and fairies, was certain that the ogre of Orkney had come for her. She called frantic that a huge bulging creature had been staring at her when she slept at night, that this ogre had tunneled into her room and had watched her for 2 nights now. She was positive that on this 3rd night, the ogre would spirit her away to be his bride come the next full moon. And Edwina Larkin did not want to be anyone's bride, much less that of the ogre. So she had decided that Ben needed to come and take her away from the homes for the slightly less agile and allow her to come live in his guest home. Over a heckin' high water, Ben thought as he looked in at the hives. Little black and yellow bodies with tiny wings buzzed about their daily chores and didn't seem to have a care in the world. Ben wondered how the bees trusted that everything would always be exactly where it needed to be. He wished that he had this magical level of trust and that he would always know exactly how life would turn out. But such is the way with the mortal world. Trust must be acquired and learned and held in great regard, for without it one buoys along, buffeted by each of life's small and large transgressions. Ben decided to work more on his trust issues while simultaneously looking at the sun and allowing it to fill him with its magical powers. From deep in the great pine woods, the ogre of Orkney waited patiently for his final night. He would have Edwina Larkin for his bride, and that was all there was to that. I trust myself. I don't beat myself up for past choices. So that is all we have to share for today's page. Hope this has some meaning to you in one way or another, or that it challenges you to get started on your own creative writing project. And if all goes well, I will see you all again tomorrow with the next page from this Hive Magic book and card series. So I love you all. Take care, and we'll see you soon.